In previous class, we discussed about the ecosystem. That ecosystem means that is surrounded with the biotic factors and abiotic factors in that area. They are in ecosystem. They contain the terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. Terrestrial means which are on land. They may be forest or grasslands or desert. And in aquatic, they are like lakes, ponds, these rivers, they are all aquatic ecosystems. And we discussed that in that they contain the stratifications, means they are formed as layers. Okay. And in that main components, the components of ecosystem, they contain that productivity, decomposition, energy flow, and nutrient cycles in that. Okay. We discussed about the productivity in that primary productivity and these secondary productivity. Decomposition also we discussed in that decomposers, they make them that dead plants or dead animals by fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, and that make as humification, and that soil is called as humus, that is fertile soil. And next, energy flow. In that energy is a transfer from one trophic level to the other trophic level. Means that producers, they are green plants, algae or green plants. They are producers. They produce the food. Okay, that energy is when they fruit that are transferred to the herbivores. They are called as primary consumers. And next, that animals are eaten by the carnivores, means they are called as secondary carnivores, means it is called as a food chain, means in that they are depend on the one each other, means here grass is eaten by goat is eaten by man, means here the energy flow is passing in this way. Okay, it is called as a trophic level. In that these producers, they are called as a primary trophic and first trophic level, and these are secondary trophic level, these are third trophic levels. Okay. And we discussed that energy is flowing from heat is reducing in this way. And today about the ecological pyramids. Okay. In ecological pyramids, the base of a pyramid is a broad, means in that pyramids, here in the base of pyramid is broad and it's narrow towards the apex, means it is like a triangle, means it is a pyramid, means it is a triangle shape. In that it is a broad and that apex, the top one is narrow. Okay, one gets a similar shape here. In that in the food chain, the energy relationship between the organisms at different trophic levels, this relation is expressed in terms of number or biomass or energy, means how the energy is transferring. That is if we the relation is expressed in terms of number, by the number or by the biomass or by the energy. The base of each pyramid represents the producers, means in that pyramid, okay, in that pyramid, the base mainly means their number is more because the producers are more. They produce, means they occupy the bottom space. They are the producers, the first trophic level. And the apex represents the tertiary or top level consumers. Means in that they comes the comes tertiary or top level of consumers. They are present in the apex region. Okay, the three types of ecological pyramids. Here we can see the three types of ecological pyramids. They are by pyramid of number, and pyramid of biomass, and by the pyramid of energy. Okay, we can represent by the number, or by the biomass, or by energy. Okay, here we have the three types of pyramids: pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, and a pyramid of energy. Okay. Here we can see the three types of pyramids. Okay, the three types of pyramids. In that, in the first one, we can say that the producers. Okay, here they are occupying more place. Okay, these are the producers or green plants. They are occupying more number. Means 5 lakh, five means in more number 5 lakh 80 means 58 lakhs of producers are present. Okay, means in that 58 lakhs of 42 producers are there. Means in them that they have taking more place, and that primary consumers they are this much of number, means they are less than this one, and these secondary consumers they are taking this much number. Means if we take the number of individuals, if we take the number of individuals in the trophic levels, they are the pyramid is like this. Means in that that producers are more in number, and here primary consumers and secondary consumers and tertiary consumers, they are we mention in number, that is a look like this. Okay, it is about the primary pyramid of numbers in a grassland ecosystem. It is the grassland ecosystem. Here only 3 top carnivores are supported on ecosystem based on the production of nearly 60 million plants. Means in that the number is only 3. Okay, 3 numbers are they are present in this grassland ecosystem. And next, and if we take the next pyramid, that is the weight mass, that dry weight in that trophic level. That pyramid shows the biomass, means how much biomass is present. That is a the second pyramid. In that pyramid of biomass shows a sharp decrease in biomass. Means in that at a higher trophic level, if we take these are the producers, okay, and in this primary consumers, and these are secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. In that here it is if the number dry weight in kilograms, that is the shape of this pyramid. And next about the inverted pyramid. In inverted pyramid of biomass, here the these are the producers. So they are only less in number, and the primary consumers number is more. Okay, in this pyramid that is inverted in shape. Okay, the producers are less in number, and the primary consumers are more. Okay, this is the about the pyramid of biomass small standing crop of phytoplanktons. And the next one, it is about the pyramid of energy. Okay, how energy is flowing, that is in this pyramid. In that pyramids, that prime producers, they contain this joules of 10,000 joules of energy, and that the energy is transferring into the primary consumers to the 1,000 joules. Okay, here that energy is flowing from that is decreasing in this way. Means here if producers, they are producing 10,000 joules of energy, and the primary consumers, means herbivores, they are using 1,000 joules of energy, and the secondary consumers, they are using 100 joules, and the tertiary consumers, they are using 10 joules of energy. Means in this way that energy is decreasing. In any calculations of energy content or biomass or number, they has to include the all organisms at the trophic levels. Means in that they should take all the organisms at the trophic levels. In that we take only few individuals at any trophic level into a account. Means if we take one must remember that the trophic level represents a functional level. Means that what is trophic level means energy is passing from one trophic level to another trophic level. Means that is always functional level, not a species as such. A given species may occupy more than one trophic level in the same ecosystem at the same time. If we take the example, a sparrow is a primary consumer when it eats seeds. Okay, if we take the example, sparrow, it is a primary consumer when it eats seeds, fruits, peas, and a secondary consumers when it eats insects. Okay, that sparrow, they eat the seeds also, seeds, fruits, and peas, and also they eat the insects also. Okay, they eat the insects also. Okay, when that sparrow eats that fruits, nuts, and seeds, then that is the primary consumer, that is considered as a primary consumers. And if that eats the insect, when that eats that is same sparrow, when that eats the insects, okay, then that is called as a secondary consumers. Okay, that is considered as a secondary consumers. Here, in most ecosystem, all the pyramids of number of energy and biomass are upright. Here, they are all are in that ecosystem. They all are pyramids by the number or energy and biomass are they upright. These producers are more in number and biomass than the herbivores, and herbivores are more in number and biomass than the carnivores. Here the energy at a lower trophic level is always more than at a higher level. Means in this energy at a lower trophic level, from the lower trophic level to that is going towards okay, in that in the higher level. There are exceptions to this generalization in that number of insects. If we count the number of insects feeding on a big tree, here in that pyramids, that is somewhat different. Means in that add and estimate the number of small birds depending on the insects. Okay, in that larger birds, the number of larger birds eating smaller. In that shape of that pyramid is different. The pyramids of biomass in sea. Okay, if we take the in sea, in that the biomass in sea is generally inverted. Means inverted means that is here that is like opposite to that one, like it is present. Means it is in that in other pyramids they are straight upward, but here it is in biomass in the sea that is inverted, because the biomass of fishes that exceeds that of a phytoplanktons. Means in that what happening, it inverted because the biomass of fishes far exceeds that of a phytoplankton. Pyramid of energy is always upright, can never be inverted, because when energy flows from a particular trophic level to the next trophic level, some energy is always lost. Why it is upright? Why? Because here the energy is flows from a particular trophic level to the next trophic level. In that, some water energy is lost as heat at each step. Means in them that the producers they give the more energy. Okay, when that is passing to the next herbivores and carnivores and primary and secondary carnivores, in that consumers, in that the each step they utilize some energy, so that is in upright. Here, each bar in the energy pyramid indicates the amount of energy present at each trophic level in a given time or a annular per unit. Means how the pyramids, how the shape is they formed, because means it is based on that each means each bar means here in that. It is called as a bar. In that each bar, okay, that indicates the amount of energy present at each trophic level. The energy, how much energy is present in that area, particular area at a given time, that is mentioned by this bar. By this bar length only, we can identify that how much energy is present in that trophic level in a particular time. And ecological succession. In that, here, an important characteristic of all communities is that their composition and structure constantly change response to changing environmental conditions. Okay, means that in ecosystem, that important characters is that in that composition, in their composition and structure, that is change in response to the changing environment. And if the any changes in environment, in that area, that composition and structure of that ecosystem also changes. That community structure and composition also changes. Okay, in that these changes lead finally to a community that is near equilibrium, which is the environment, and that is called as climax community. Means what is community? Means which are if we take in a particular area, that all organisms which are living in that area, they are changed by themselves by the environmental conditions and by the changes in environmental and in physical changes, so that are remained similar in that area, that are called as climax community. Means again no changes that are present in that. After so many changes in that, they are formed as a community that is called as a climax community. The gradual and a fairly predictable change in the species composition of a given area is called as ecological succession. In this, during succession, some species colonize an area and their population becomes more numerous, whereas the population of the other species decline and even disappear. Means in that some species, if the in that area, one species number is more, if they are they can tolerate that conditions and everything, the number of species will increase. So in that area, they occupy more area in that area. So in that other species, they will disappear from this area, and these species only they occupy that area. The entire sequent communities or successive changes in the given area are called as series. Okay, the individuals transitional communities are termed as serial serial stages or serial communities. Here, the succession is a process that starts in an area where no living organisms are there. Means that is start from the in an area where no living organisms are there. These could be areas where no living organisms ever existed. Here in that, like a bare rock or in area that some of lost all the living organisms that existed in that. Uh, the former is that is called as a primary succession. Means in that area no living organisms are present. Okay, that is the it is called as primary succession, while the latter it is termed as secondary succession. Like examples that is that are occurs that examples the areas where primary succession occurs, newly cooled lava. Okay, lava means that is the hot one, that lava and bare rock, newly created pond or reservoir. The establishment of new biotic communities generally slow. It takes a lot of time for the formation of that community. Before a biotic community diverse, organisms can become established. There must be soil and depending mostly on the climate. It takes natural process several hundreds to several thousand years to produce a fertile soil on the bare rock. Means that is depending on mostly on the climatic conditions. That rocks, they are by weathering that are make into small division stones and that are formed as after so many thousands of years that produce a fertile soil in that area. And a secondary succession that begins in area where natural biotic communities have been destroyed, such as in abandoned farmlands and burned or cut forest. Means here in this first one, what is happening in that if they are formed newly formed by lava, by cooled lava and by the bare rock and newly created pond. In this secondary succession, that is the in areas where natural biotic communities have been destroyed. Means in that area no biotic factors are present, such as in farmlands and burned or forest. If we cut the forest in that area, that is it is a secondary succession area. And lands that have been flooded, if the floods are present, means that topmost soil, fertile soil will remove get from other places, so that area is not suitable for plants to grow. Since some soil sediment is present, succession is faster than primary succession. At any time during primary or secondary succession, natural or human-induced disturbances like fire, deforestation. Means deforestation means cutting of the forest by this. That is the that is by the human, and naturally that is a forest fire. These all are can convert a particular serial stage of succession to an earlier stage. In that such disturbances create new conditions that encourage some species and discourage or eliminate other species. By this way, in that area which can live in that area, they can live in that area. Only few species are they grow in that area, and the remaining species they move away from that period, that place, and that is in that only few species are spread, and that are present, that are grow in that, and other species will eliminate, or to other move to other places. Next, succession of plants. In that, based on the nature of the habitat, okay, based on the nature of the habitat, here whether it is water, or it's on very dry areas, okay, it is by water or in dry areas, succession of plants is called as hydrarch or xerarch. Means a hydrarch succession takes place wet areas. Hydrarch means hydro, means that is have the water lands. Okay, in that hydrarch succession takes place in wet areas, and the succession series progress from the hydric to the mesic conditions. As in this xerarch succession, that takes place dry areas like deserts. In that area, no water is present. Okay, they are formed as a xerarch succession, and a hydrarch succession means which contain the water content. So both hydrarch and xerarch succession that lead to the medium of water conditions. Okay, neither too dry or nor too wet. The species that invade a bare area is called as pioneer species. Okay, what is that? The species that invade a bare area are called as pioneer species. In that here mainly in primary succession on rocks, these are usually lichens which are able to secrete acids to dissolve rock. Means the lichens, they release some secretions, they release acids to dissolve rock, helping the weathering and soil formation. Means indirectly they are breaking down that big soils by using these acids. Okay, these are the lichens. They are release some acids. So by that acids, they dissolve the rocks and helping in weathering. Weathering means that is breakdown of rocks. Okay, they formed small rocks are they formed as small stones. Big rocks that are converted into small stones. That process is called as weathering, and also soil formation. These later they pave way to some very small plants like bryophytes. After that, when the soil formation is done, then they in that area like bryophytes, they are developed in that area, which are able to take hold in the small amount of soil. Means they can live in the small, they need only small amount of soil. They are with the time succeeded by higher plants. Later that when they get the more soil, they are developed as a higher plants. And after several more stages, ultimately a stable climax forest community is formed. Like that, they are formed as a big climax forests are formed. And the climax community remains stable as long as the environment remains unchanged. Means if the climax community that is not changed, if the environment is not changed. In the environmental changes only that causes the changes in that in that community, climax community. Means because of the environmental changes only, the community is changing. With the time, the xerophyte habitats get converted into a mesophytic ones. Means xerophytic means that they no need of water. They all habitated as converted into the mesophytic nature. And next, in primary succession, if we take water, the pioneers are the small phytoplanktons. Means in that phytoplanktons which are float on the surface of water, that phytoplanktons which are replaced with the time by rooted submerged plants. Means of phytoplanks in primary succession, in that aquatic in system, if we take that phytoplanktons means which are float on the surface, small plants that are replaced with the time by rooted submerged plants. Means in that area, that rooted plants, rooted submerged plants are occupied that area, and rooted floating angiosperms also, followed by free floating plants. In that marsh, meadow, and scrub, and finally the trees. Means in this succession, in the primary succession, first they have the phytoplankton, small phytoplanktons, and by the time that is converted into the replaced by the rooted submerged. First, they have the phytoplanktons and that are replaced by the rooted submerged plants and rooted floating angiosperms. They are followed by free floating plants, means like pistia that are float in water. They are formed, and then they are formed as a swamp, marsh, meadow, and a scrub. And finally, the trees are formed. The climax again would be a forest. In the ending, that is formed as a forest. When time the water body is converted into land, means here these in the water succession, when that is a in the climate in that changes, they are grown, and in the climax condition that are formed as a forest, that is converted into the land. In secondary succession, okay, in the secondary succession, that the species that invade depend on the condition of the soil. Means here in secondary condition, what is happening? The species that invade depend on the conditions of the soil availability of water. The environment is also the seeds or other propagulates represent. These soil is already there. The rate of succession is much faster, and here climax is also reached the more quickly. Means in the secondary succession, that species, some species they invade. These are invaded and depend on the conditions of the soil. Okay, they are dependent on the condition of the soil and availability of water and the environment. Okay, these three conditions are that are invade the species, and also seeds or other propagules are present. In that, the rate of succession is much faster than the primary succession. If we look here, these are the phytoplanktons. Okay, these are the phytoplanktons. And next, read swamp stage. In that, first A, in that phytoplanktons are there. Next, that are developed as that are changed into the submerged plant stage. Okay, means some water that are growed in that area. And next, that are developed as a submerged free floating plant stage. Here they are floating on the surface, submerged free floating plants stage. And next, that are here that are in this here these are the reed swamp stage. Means it is a phytoplankton stage. Phytoplanktons are there, and next they are developed as a submerged plant stage, and next that are developed as a converted as a submerged free floating plant stage. Okay, and next here these are the converted into reed swamp stage, and later that in that area that are formed as a marsh meadow stage. Okay, and later completely that they utilize that soil and they formed as a scrub stage. Okay, they formed as a scrub stage, and here they are formed as they are developed as a forest. Means it is a by many thousands of years it is happened that the phytoplanktons they are converted into submerged plant stage, and next submerged free floating plant stage, and next to the means finally that are developed as the forest by many years of that is a further they are reached as a forest. In that all succession which are take place in the water or on land proceed to a similar climax. They are climax community, that is a basic. And next about the nutrient cycles. Okay, here these are the nutrient cycles. Mainly nutrients, the amount of nutrients such as carbon means for the growth of plants, some they need some nutrients. Okay, they are for the here these are the in that these supply of means they are important for growth of plants. The amounts of nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, these are the present in the soil at any given time. It is referred as the standing state. Means if the If soil is contain these all nutrients, then that is called as fertile soil, and in that area the plants will grow very healthily. Okay, that it varies in different kinds of ecosystem and also on a seasonable basis. Means different kinds of ecosystem we already discussed in the ecosystems, are they may be aquatic or terrestrial. Like deserts, they contain a less amount of these nutrients are present. So here and seasonal basis also, that is change varies in different kinds of ecosystem. Means that these amounts of nutrients, these all are varies in different kinds of ecosystems. Here, the movement of nutrient elements through the various components of the ecosystem is called as nutrient cycling. Means what is nutrient cycle? It is the movement of nutrient elements through various components of the components of an ecosystem. It is called as a nutrient cycling. Here, the other name of nutrient cycling, that is called as the biogeochemical cycles. Bio means living organism. Geo means rocks. Rocks are air, water. Okay, nutrient cycles, they are two types. They are gaseous and sedimentary. Okay, nutrient cycles, they are two types of cycles are there: gaseous cycles and sedimentary cycles. The reservoir for gaseous type of nutrient cycle, like a nitrogen and carbon cycle, means these are they are these nutrients that are present in the gaseous state. So they are nitrogen and carbon cycles, they are called as a gaseous type, and they are exist in the atmosphere. And for the sedimentary cycles are sulfur and phosphorus cycles. Okay, means two types of cycles are there: gaseous cycles and sedimentary cycles. In gaseous cycle, they are present. They are nitrogen and carbon. They are called as gaseous cycles, and that sulfur and phosphorus, they are called as sedimentary. Means that are present in the soil, and these are present at in the atmosphere. Environmental factors like soil, moisture, pH, temperature, etc. regulate the rate of release of nutrients into the atmosphere. Means that soil, if that contain all, means in that these are the factors on the environmental factors, like soil, moisture, pH, temperature. These are all, they regulate the rate of release of nutrients. Okay, nutrients, these are the nitrogen, carbon, these are released into the atmosphere. The function of the reservoir is to meet the defect of the which occurs due to the imbalance in the rate of influx and efflux. Influx means that is accumulating, means gathering, and efflux means sending out. Here the about the ecosystem in that carbon cycle. In that carbon cycle, if we look at the total quantity of global carbon, we find that 70% carbon is found dissolved in oceans. Means more carbon is present in the ocean, means 70% that is found in oceans. This oceanic reservoir regulate the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, means that is regulating that carbon dioxide is the oceanic reservoir that is regulating, that is maintaining the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Next, fossil fuels also represent the reservoir of carbon. Means fossil fuels means petrol, these are kerosene, these are called as fossil fuels. They also represent the reservoir of carbon. Carbon cycle occurs through atmosphere, oceans, atmosphere, ocean, and through living and dead organisms. Means how this carbon cycling occurs by through the atmosphere, ocean, and the living and dead organisms. When the dead organisms are mixed in the soil, that is formed as the fuels. Okay, and that is utilized by us, and that is by utilizing, that is entered into the atmosphere. According to on estimate, 4 into 10 to the power of 13 kg of carbon is fixed in annually in the biosphere through the photosynthesis. Decomposers also contribute to sustainability of CO2 pool by the processing of waste material and dead organic matter of land or oceans. I mean, in the oceans also the decomposers are present. They also help in that, contribute the CO2 by processing of waste materials and dead organisms in oceans. Some amount of the fixed carbon is lost of sediments and removed from the circulations, like burning of wood and forest fire and combustion of organic matter and fossil fuels and volcanic activity. These additional sources for releasing of CO2 in the atmosphere. Means carbon dioxide is released out by using of fossil fuels, like using petrol or kerosene, and by the burning of wood, forest fire. These all also they are releasing CO2 in the atmosphere. Human activities have significantly influenced the carbon cycle. Rapid deforestation and massive burning of fossil fuels for energy and transport have significantly increased the rate of release of carbon dioxide. Means they means by the deforestation and by the burning of fossil fuels, they are releasing the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And next, about the phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus is the major constituent of biological membranes, nucleic acids and cellular energy transfer systems. Okay, it is very important in the biological membranes. Many animals also need large quantity of the elements, like elements to make shells. For the formation of shells, bones, and teeth, they need this phosphorus. The natural reservoir of phosphorus is a rock which contains phosphorus in the form of phosphates. They contain the phosphates. When rocks are weathered means they are fragmented, they are divided into small pieces. Minute amounts of these phosphates dissolved in soil solution and are absorbed by the roots of the plants. Means these by the weathering, that rocks, the phosphorus rocks, when they are weathered, that are mixed in the soil, and that plants are absorb that mixed phosphorus. Herbivores and other animals obtain this element from the plants. Means these elements are that are absorbed from the plants only. These herbivores, mainly that herbivores, they are getting this phosphorus from these plants. The waste products and the dead organisms are decomposed by a phosphate solubilizing bacteria, that is releasing phosphorus. Some bacteria also that is release the phosphorus, and carbon cycle there is no respiratory release of phosphorus. Means that is a phosphorus is not participate in this respiration, but the carbon dioxide that after respiration that waste material that is formed carbon dioxide. And next, the other two major and important differences between carbon and phosphorus cycle are firstly, atmospheric inputs of phosphorus through rainfall are much smaller than the carbon inputs. And secondly, gaseous exchange of phosphorus between the organisms and environment are negligible. In this, here it is simplified mode of phosphorus cycling. In that, what is happening? Rocks are there, rocks materials are there that are weathering. By weathering means that are divided into small particles and that are mixed in the soil solution, and that soil solution is utilized. That is uptaken by the producers. Means plants are they are utilizing the soil. Okay. By the producers, and that are utilized by the consumers, means herbivores. That herbivores they are eaten by that carnivores, and when they are died, that are mixed in the soil only. The decomposers they are mixed that detritus materials into the soil only. Means that cycle is continually happening. Means that rock soils they are forming, that are mixed in the soil, and that is by the producers they are utilizing that one, and that are eaten by the herbivores and carnivores, and that is when they are died, that are comes to the soil only by the detritus process, by the decomposition process, that is mixed again into the soil. Means that cycle is continuing. And ecosystem services. In that, healthy ecosystems are the base of a wide range of economic, environmental, and in that the products of the ecosystem process are named as ecosystem services. Healthy forest ecosystem purify air and water and migrated droughts and floods. Means by the growing of forest, by the growing of forest, they stop the floods and stop the droughts. They stop the droughts and they help in the purify of air and water. And maintain, they provide a wildlife habitat and maintain the biodiversity. By that, they maintain the biodiversity also. The soil, out of the total cost of various ecosystem services, the soil formation accounts for about 50%, and contribution of other services like recreation and nutrient cycling are less than 10% in each. The cost of climatic regulation and habitat for wildlife are about 6% each. In that, only 6% they contain. Okay. And it is about the nutrient cycles. Okay. Today we discussed about the pyramids. Here contain the ecological pyramids. Okay, in that they are upright pyramids are there, and some are inverted pyramids are also present. In ecological succession, that primary succession and secondary succession is there. Primary succession, in that they contain they may be hydroarchic succession or xeroarchic succession. Hydroarchic means which contain water, and xeroarchic means that like a desert area. And again about the that nutrient cycles, there are two types of cycles are there. They are gaseous cycles and sedimentary cycles. The gaseous cycles are carbon dioxide. In this cycle, we can say that in this here limestone and dolomites. Here they are present in this. Okay, first this CO2 in the atmosphere that is entering into the CO2 in the water that is mixed, and by the decaying organisms, they are calcareous sediments are formed, and from these photosynthesis aquatic food chains that is also utilizing that one, and phytoplanktons also, and that is again entered into the atmosphere. And here the detritus food chain. In detritus food chain, like cow dung that are in the that is present in the soil and that are utilized by these plants. Okay, and by burning this by burning the forest and fuel food that are entered into the atmosphere, releasing the CO2. Combustion of fossil fuels for vehicles, electricity and heat. Means petroleum, kerosene, these are utilizing by utilizing that one, that are they are releasing the CO2, and that also entered into the atmosphere. And in phosphorus, that one rock minerals are there that are by weathering, means that are divided to small particles that is mixed in the soil. That soil is in that soil the plants producers, they take this phosphorus, and that phosphorus they are utilized, and they give that to the consumers. Mainly that herbivores, they take they eat the plants, so they are utilized that one, and that consumers when they are died, that are mixed into the soil only by the decomposers, by these detritus, dead animals or dead plants that are litter. Here it is a litter fall, means that leaves, dead leaves, and that dead plants, dead animals, they are mixed in the soil only by the decomposition, that again mixed in the soil. Means it is a cycle that is going on. That is a phosphorus is a it is in phosphorus cycle that is going on from soil to that plants, and again to animals, and again that is entered into the soil. It is about the phosphorus cycle. Okay, thank you.